Anyway, I felt like I had to rush a couple of weeks ago with your food and everything, and remembered I didn't answer one of Shelton's questions, I didn't think, because he wants the grub. But let me just review a little bit, that it is okay to eat food, you need to eat good food, and use that plate as a guideline. I think you had asked about snacks, and you wanted big burgers and all sorts of stuff. You tried to get everything out. But the point is to nourish our body with a plate of food that looks like the plate that was in your folder, and to have good food. And not that you have to be perfect, but snacks come, Shelton, if you're hungry or if you're you're using up a lot of calories, and then you need to nourish yourself, but it should be based on what your body needed, either that you didn't put it in or you're hungry or there's a reason for it. We don't need to snack if there's no reason. And for sure, we need to eat 3 platefuls of food every day and more as needed. Some of the rules say eat 5 or 6 times a day, but I don't go there with people because
I try that.
We've got so many people skipping their meals that I can't say, well, you got to eat 6 times now. It's just too unrealistic for the people that I see. For the most part, they're not eating. But I can't go any lower than 3. We've got to do 3 because that keeps that fat from storing, and that, you know what, we don't get it. The brain has to be fed, and the heart has to be fed. We have to feed our bodies, and we don't get that. So I just wanted to do a quick review of that. Now, I also want to give a lead in. We've got a few little things for you to taste, but I've got a lead in here. So we're working out of a couple rooms here. So, and by the way, I bet we could have about maybe 2 more people in here, and that'd be about all we could fit. What do you think, Dana?
Even that would be kind of tight, yeah.
There's 8, 9, 10, 11. So, just for future purposes.
Well, if you can like pull the table forward, right, and put 2 chairs over there.
Yeah, we thought that we could have a row of chairs. You might be able to fit 15 if you didn't need the table, maybe.
I gotta have a table.
Maybe.
Something to write on, you know.
Yeah, who wanted the table? Who thinks the table's a good idea? Yeah, so you all like the table, okay. You were right. So, anyway,
It would be too much like a therapy session if there was no tables.
Right, that's true.
My name is Claire.
That's right, and although a lot of times it feels like a therapy session with patients.
With rows, there wouldn't be. If you did rows like that, there wouldn't be interaction then either.
That's true, there wouldn't be interaction, yeah. We love interaction because we learn things. Anyway, so let me just tell you, the body is not made out of soda or Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, or sweet tea. Body's made out of water. Body's made out of water, and so water should be what we put in the most. Now, I'm not here to take away all your treats, but we can't live on that, or that our body will not be happy. So let me just give you the soda demo. For somebody who drinks 2 sodas a day, that's low for some of the people that come in this office. 2 a day. In a month, this is how much goes in their stomach. I say belly, stomach, your innards, whatever I think will get across to them. That is 5.6 gallons in their stomach in a month. In a month, it will be 8,400 calories in a month. And it would be 5 pounds of sugar in a month. And it would be, well, think of in a month, if you put that much sugar in a bowl and a spoon, and you had to have it gone by the end of the month. Now, maybe that sounds appealing, but I like a little chocolate with my sugar. So that would be how much sugar it is. It would take 100 miles to walk off the calories in a month. It's about a little over 3 a day. When you didn't walk it off, it would turn into 2.4 pounds of fat. So when we see the kids, well, all ages really, all ages. I've had a little 82-year-old cutest little lady, running around to Wendy's and drinking Mountain Dew after her husband died. She was going out with her girlfriends, eating candy bars, but she wanted, she got diabetes. She didn't want to make changes, but it's all age groups, the soda thing. So that's that. Now, the other thing I want to show you is, this will mean something to some of you. Who was born, or can you tell me what y'all were doing in 1979? Eighth grade.
I wasn't even thought of.
You weren't even, I was thinking about you.
79.
What's 79?
You're 2 years younger than me.
Yeah, 6th grade.
6th grade. Anybody else?
Fire department.
Fire department?
You don't wanna know. I was in high school.
High school?
3rd grade.
3rd grade.
Moving the family back to West Virginia.
Oh, yay!
See, I'm pretty darn old.
Think back.
Well, I worked at Geico for 45 years, so I'm sure I was having my single life.
Oh, okay, well, we don't need to know all that.
Well,
Single,
Yeah.
and what year were you born?
92.
92, so.
Good Lord.
Wow.
So 1979 was my, second year in healthcare. But this was the Apple Blossom Parade for Winchester, all right? Now, look at, I'm gonna take this around, look at the size of the soda in 1979 that was advertised, okay? So, when you try to explain to people things aren't as they always were, you've gotta provide proof. You had a little Coke, it was a big deal, and you had one, and 2 or 3 months later, you had another. So, anyway, help me pass the word. I see the soda as a big deal. And again, you're not gonna hear from me, you can't do this and you can't do that. I just want us to run our bodies better, okay? Now, that's that. Now, I have more coming for this information, but this is just the layup. This is just the introduction. Hold on, you can't see all this at once. So, anybody seen these?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Then.
He's not a sweets person.
I like chocolate.
He's a hot sauce person.
He can't stay if he doesn't like chocolate.
Then we could eat it.
You like hot sauce?
Yeah.
Oh.
I like hot food.
Hey, that's
The
good.
Spicy one.
So, but everybody else, like, okay. So here's the first food lesson, all right? This is the first food lesson. When your hard-earned money comes out of your wallet, you are purchasing what these people put in here. This is somebody that made food for you. You didn't make this food. This is called a convenience product. Your money is paying for what they put in here, all right? What's listed first is the most, sugar. I'm okay with the sweet cupcake. What's listed last is the least, sorbic acid to retain freshness. You paid for sodium acid pyrophosphate, chocolate liqueur, agar, modified cornstarch, polysorbate 60, sterile lactylate, monodiglycerides, beef fat, and pork gelatin. That's Natalie's favorite. She loves that in her cupcakes. Okay. So the first lesson is, well, Dr. Seuss says, Mr. Fox, sir, I won't do it. If I can't say it, I won't chew it. The first lesson in purchasing, because it's confusing out there, eat this and eat that. This is your lesson. I practice this myself unless somebody's paying me to look for evil. We should know the word. Apple, peach, pear.
Ghirardelli.
Ghirardelli, that's right.
Yeah.
What the heck is sodium acid pyrophosphate? Sounds like something that would happen the 4th of July.
Yeah, it
Okay.
does.
Those aren't words that you're not smart and you don't know what they are. You're smart because you don't buy food with that in them, okay? You want to know the word. And Natalie's going to talk to you about the label, but the first thing is, what did you pay for? You should look at the list first and then work your way up, okay? Know what you pay for. The next thing is, it should be a short list. It does not take 45 ingredients to make a cupcake. okay? Now, you're gonna get a lot of lessons throughout. There's gonna be more bad news, but good news too, okay? Because I want you to be angry about some of this, but I can't make you mad and then send you out with no solutions. So we're gonna have solutions too. So if you purchase something, now Brian White has promised me another box of this, but I'm making you feel the pain as it's been lost. If I didn't have 2-year-olds in this office, I wouldn't have broken boxes. They come and rip up everything, little kids. I shouldn't have little kids here, as the patient, not as tag-alongs. So these were crackers made by Nature's Promise. They're like a Triscuit cracker without hardly any fat, so they're a little drier. They're a good cracker that if you want to put like a dip on it or whatever, that they're kind of grainy flavoring. And there's 2 things in here, you can hardly even see it, whole wheat and salt. 2 things. There's actually more salt in the cupcakes than in these crackers. So we want a short list.
So has the FDA made it across the board that it won't go under ingredients? Like, so if we see the word ingredients, we know that's the only place we're gonna find the ingredients?
That's right, it's
Okay.
gotta be there, it's gotta be there.
Yeah.
Now, there's probably things they don't have to list like water, but it's gotta be there. What the heck is in there? Now, who's the salty lover? Salty lover, okay. So, this is right up there with hot dogs and apple pie and Super Bowl, right? So, these are corn chips. Corn chips are made with corn. They take the sweet little corn that grows in the dirt, that's soon to be tilled, and they added 40 things to these chips, including 4 dyes. Okay? So, what the heck is that all about? The dyes, yellow 6, yellow 5, red 40, and there's another one called artificial coloring, artificial natural somewhere on here. Monosodium glutamate in there too, if you have allergy to that.
A lot of the European companies don't put the dyes in, so like if you get M&Ms or something, they
That's
won't.
exactly
They'll
right.
use natural color.
That's exactly right. Well, and we've just added color after color after color. Some of the,
Yeah, they say we're unhealthy because we use
right, and
dyes.
they've also
In their
banned,
writing.
that's right, they've also banned GMOs and, you know, they go to the market every day to cook. Now, this is the better news for you, okay? I'm not gonna tell you bad news without some good news. And these are the original Fritos, okay, not the ranch and the barbecue or the sriracha or whatever you might buy. These have 3 things, corn oil, and salt. 3 things. Now, don't you think the insides of us would rather have those 3 things? And these are yummy. You guys like these? Okay. Yeah, and so we've gotta know that. We've gotta know what goes inside of here. And more lessons coming, but,
What's the portion on that? In case I buy that.
1 ounce, 1 ounce. Now, these are the bigger ones, not the original
So it's 10.
10.
Handful.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you this, just for fun. But, anybody heard of the Cheesecake Factory? Uh-oh.
That's where Mike and Leah went last week, wasn't
Go
it?
get my yardstick, would you?
Oh, I haven't been recently.
Okay.
We have friends that go.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might
Now-
not wanna go after this.
I'm not against food, and I'm not against good food, and I'm not against dining out. But I am for inside of here, and I'm against disease, inflammation. So, these are cupcakes that were from the Cheesecake Factory, all right? They were $10, not my money, they were a gift. $10, $2.50 each. Now, can you think of the scene down at Tyson's Corner? You just got your Coach purse, and you're having a $5 Starbucks coffee, and you're having some sweet snack, because you are something special, all right? And so, these are the cupcakes, $6 each, or $10 total. They are 6 years old this month. And they have no mold. They have 99 ingredients, and one of them is antifreeze. So I'd like you to meet my cupcakes. They're soon going to get Facebook. You can see the vanilla beans. Kids say it smells like Play-Doh. But
Sounds like
It
cement
does.
dye or something.
I never had Play-Doh that smelled. Sheldon, have you met the cupcakes before?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, you don't need to get that close to smell.
Yeah,
Yeah, I can
No,
smell
they've been dropped, they've been,
That's
I
like
never-
those pictures of McDonald's food on
Right.
Facebook that you see.
right, I just never did that.
Ugh, you need to close that up.
It does smell like Play-Doh.
Yeah, it does.
That's scary.
So Natalie and I are either gonna make you real food or we're gonna show you processed food that's a little bit better for you. You guys don't want these?
No.
Okay, here's the
How
list.
did they get away with banana cream?
Because it's propylene glycol. Now, the research shows that a little propylene glycol won't hurt you. It's safe. But really, can you imagine making cupcakes? Honey, pass me a little propylene glycol. My cupcakes need a little bit. Okay? We don't know what's in our food because the food companies, nobody's been paying any attention. So till we start making our own food or repurchasing food that's healthier for us, which will have some of the taste tests for you, this is what people think this is good food. $10, $2.50 each, 6 years ago. Now we have some better food for you. That'll take a while to explain what we have for you to taste. Dana doesn't even know what's coming.
It's not those cupcakes.
So, what'd she say?
I said it's not the cupcakes.
So now this
A
is,
real cupcake and a fake,
let's see.
that's what you do is taste test.
I'm gonna give everybody a little, I think they could have the same taste test in the same cup, because I'm gonna give you, you can just pour, okay? Now, before I get it out, I gotta explain.
Explain.
I gotta explain.
Explain.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lucy, you got some spinach?
I gotta explain. There are people that are lactose intolerant. Lactose intolerant. They can't tolerate the cow milk, okay? And so, but now it's a big marketing thing. You know, we got soy milk and oat milk and rice milk and hemp milk and coconut milk and cashew milk and almond milk, all these milks. And Natalie and I, you know, this is our business. We like to mess around and see what's out there. A lot of marketing.
How about the lactate, is that?
Lactate is is regular cow milk. It's from the moo without, they've taken the lactose out. And so I'm okay with products. It's a little bit overkill of all these other kind of milks. So what do I have for you? Even another. And the reason is this. Most Americans overeat protein. You know, we think we need a lot of meat, we need a lot of, we eat way too much protein. But we do need to space our protein out. And some folks do not get enough protein at breakfast. We should have protein at breakfast, we should have protein at lunch, protein at dinner. We don't skip to overeat your protein at one meal, because it gets processed along the way. So the problem with, if you're one of those folks that grabs a bowl of cereal, first of all, it needs some nuts in, or you need some peanut butter or a scrambled egg or something in the morning. But if you choose most of the milk, the almonds and the coconut and whatever, you hardly get any protein in there. You get about 8 grams of protein for 8 ounces of cow milk, and you get protein in soy milk, but a lot of them it's less than 1 gram. So if you're one of those that you're not getting your protein spaced out evenly, you may have a deficit in the morning. So now don't go, ew. There's a new milk, and you gotta watch these things. But this came in one of my magazines, and it was, as a good source, it has about 7 or 8 grams of protein. It is milk from a really good source. It is pea protein. Pea protein. And I'm going to read you the label, but I've got regular and I've
Yes,
got
but spell the P.
Yeah.
PEA.
Okay, thank you.
It's
Yeah, exactly.
like, I'll
PEA.
be a guinea pig, but I won't go that far.
PEA.
Thank you for spelling that.
This is such a good group. And so, you know, we dietitians, we like to see what's out there. And so, just look, the almond and all of those don't have, you would think the almond and all those cashew milks. Pardon me?
What store sells it?
Target. It's called Ripple. This one is unsweetened. Let's see, it comes unsweetened, sweetened, vanilla, and chocolate. Now, the more you add the flavors, they've added some sugar. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the lid off and pass this around, and then pass. I had a glass of this already because Mr. likes chocolate. But 8 ounces is 80 calories, 5 grams of fat, no fiber, 8 grams of protein. It's got calcium, vitamin D added. It's got, now you know what, cow milk is just cow milk and a few additives. So for a list, it's not this big, but it's got some things added. It's got water and pea protein and sunflower oil, and then it's got a little bit of other things. And so this is not vanilla. This is just plain like this would be on your cereal. Okay, so don't put a whole bunch of happy thoughts up here, like you're going to be happy. This is just on your cereal. Okay. This one is the chocolate. And it too is water, pea protein, cane sugar. It has sugar. It has 150 calories, 8 grams of protein. It's got sugars. It's got calcium and vitamin D. I told you in the beginning, I'm not a perfect dietitian, and I got to have some chocolate. And I get tired of yogurt and kefir and all that.
How is it price-wise? It's a good thing it doesn't
Uh,
taste so sugar.
Similar to the other prices, maybe a little bit more. But Target sells it. See, every time you take me, I got my nose runs. Natalie, do you want to taste? Dana, do you want to taste?
I'm okay for now.
You
Well,
made
know,
that
wait
sound,
and see.
you made that
Oh.
sound so good.
I
to not
think
put
I'm-
happy
Uh-oh.
thoughts in.
I just heard her say pea milk.
Chase
and
it with the
that's
chocolate. We got one.
So it doesn't have much taste to it.
It's the texture.
Oh, now see, okay, you didn't like the thickness.
It's like chocolate milk. Yeah, I mean, it's not
Ew,
much
it tastes
different.
like chalk.
Hey,
I like
the
it.
thing is, you don't have to pay for this taste testing. See, now you don't have to.
No,
Have your-
chocolate I could do with chocolate.
You turn it on and take a picture of it, so I can remember it.
Yeah.
Same
All right.
chocolate's better, we'll see.
Gotta be better than that. That was terrible.
No, it wasn't
I
bad.
wondered if you'd like the plain.
I would try it.
The vanilla's good too, but of course,
Is it expensive?
the
or
better.
they run
I
it?
think it's $3.99. The better it tastes. Of course, you got the sugar in it.
Yeah.
I was just looking. I use some cow milk. I use some soy milk. I'm not a big meat eater, so I want that
This is
extra.
fine.
I want that extra protein in the morning. I want that extra. Is that good or bad? What'd you say?
I said it's fine.
Oh. You have your legs crossed when you said that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but for those of us who get plenty, my breakfast is usually a couple eggs.
Uh-huh.
Um,
That's fine. This is just to
So-
open
so,
up your
but I
world.
mean, I wouldn't necessarily need the extra protein, so the soy or the almond milk that I use is still.
Yep, you would get the protein, the soy. This was just a new product highlighted in one of my magazines. And, you know, I looked at the bottom first. It's like, okay, that's got a few things, but it's not horrible. And that's how you should look at it too. Okay, my money is paying for this. And do I like what this says? Sure, I'm willing to spend 150 calories for something chocolate. That didn't bother me. And what you shouldn't do is look on the front, because they're going to tell you all this stuff to buy, and go by that. Is it something you think you're going to like? Okay.
It might taste okay with cereal.
Think
Plain, I wouldn't buy.
it would be an interesting taste test to have a bunch of milks and to just taste it without anything, to think what you really thought about cow milk. Probably doesn't have.
Most people probably would not like regular cow milk if it comes right from the
A
cow.
lot of people in this area don't like milk. Yeah. Okay, that's one done.
So,
Dana's like, I'm not touching that stuff.
Actually, I was gonna send the chocolate one to my daughter.
Now, Natalie, okay, Natalie has made quinoa for you, and I'm gonna let her talk about that, and I'm gonna sit down and not get filmed.
No, you're still in there. Okay, so this is something that I made a lot,
at college because you can make it in bulk and it's really great. You can eat it on its own. A lot of times if I have a salad, I'll put it on top. But what it is I just got bagged quinoa. Oh yeah, those are important. I forget what brand of quinoa I have, but pretty much any brand is fine. If you just want to take one. So I do have the recipe for you in the other room. I printed it off. Basically all it is just quinoa. I did a can of corn, a can of chickpeas, a can of low sodium black olives that I cut in half. You can get the sliced ones, whatever is easier for you. I chopped up some cucumber and tomato and I just mixed it all together. Typically, I just opened this, that's why I left the room, so it's being so loud over there. If you want to put some of this on top, go ahead. Start. Well, I guess you can use your spoons, that works too, doesn't it? I did make a dressing. I will tell you, I don't know how some of you feel about plain Greek yogurt, but that is what I used. I mixed it with a little bit of Dijon mustard, and then I put some white balsamic vinegar in because that's what I had. I actually prefer the white balsamic, but you can use regular.
So many recipes have the Dijon in it.
Yeah, I don't.
Main
I
ingredient
think
for a lot of different.
it just adds a nice little flavor. I don't know how many foods you just describe the flavor. I don't know.
No, just yummy.
Yeah, it just works really well. But like I said, a lot of times I'll put this on top of a salad or this is my Mediterranean version. I do a Mexican version. I still use the corn, the quinoa. I do black beans, tomatoes. I might chop it with.
We had a church dinner and one of the ladies used quinoa and cranberries and
Yes.
nuts.
Put walnuts
So
on top. You can do so much with it, and it's just.
It was so good.
I was
like
telling
it.
Natalie, I make one with asparagus and feta with like a lemon dressing, and that is really good. You love asparagus.
Hold on. I thought this evening when I came home from work, I thought I'm gonna have some shrimp.
All right, does that make up for the pea milk?
Yes. I haven't even tasted it.
Oh. Now, you know, we want this class to be memorable.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Well, when you said pea milk, it became memorable.
You gotta make them peelicious brownies.
Yeah, that's right. When I first started here,
I'm gonna put this
We did a
cleaning spoon in
thing
here
of
if anybody wants more.
where did they come from? Over at vegetables over at the senior center, and I kept making these brownies till I perfected it, till husband passed them, and made with baby food peas.
Sarah loved them. She talks about them all the time still.
You tell her when she gets
That
into
is very
nutrition,
good.
I'll will her the recipe.
I have the dressing recipe. We'll give you a handout for you.
I like that.
All right, so the pea milk's made up for.
So last week I gave them a recipe for the garbanzo beans that you can make on your own.
Ooh, goody.
This is good.
You guys give Natalie a A+.
Yes.
Yay. Oh, you saved me. You saved my
I
life.
think you did that on purpose that way. Makes her taste so much better.
Well, by the way, I like the pea milk. I use it on my cereal. Well, with cereal and banana and a little sugar, pea milk was perfectly fine for this body. Did you like the chocolate pea milk better than the, okay.
Mhm.
It wasn't a total waste. Well, I'm gonna use it anyway.
Did anybody else think it tasted like chalk?
Which one, the white
It's
one?
waferish to me.
Just reminded me of chalk.
We want you to
Kind of
remember.
reminded me a lot of the plain almond, or plain cashew, so.
I can
other
remember
than the flavor was a
when
little-
I tried some of those other milks, I expected them to taste like the nut, and they didn't. So I was like, well, gee, this is a little disappointing. They all kind of taste the
Coconut
same.
Chocolate milk.
Rice milk and oat milk, I thought were too sweet. Personally, they were too sweet. Natalie, you made them happy.
Mhm.
What about coconut milk?
Just look and see what's in there. There's no
I mean,
magic
I don't like
anything.
Coconut milk is good.
Does it taste like coconut?
What is sweet? It's a sweet milk.
Sweet.
Yeah, coconut
Use
water
that
I
for
don't like.
making-
Mine used to have so much.
I
milk
didn't like
isn't
that
as
either.
bad.
You know, there's no
That's
magic
good.
anything. See what they put in it
Mhm.
and see if that's something you wanna put inside of you.
Mhm.
All right, we've got a couple more things.
That was a good, that's really good.
We need to make this.
Now, you're gonna give Natalie all the good reports, but, cause sometimes I've been a dietitian a lot longer, so some of the things I like, you might think are a little weird. So, but that's all right. Oops, I'm gonna pass a napkin to you. Take one napkin. I'm just gonna let you. So what's coming next is 2 more processed foods. This is brown bread in a can. My camera. Now, who went ew?
I did, it's like they used that on Chopped once.
Have you had this? No? Okay, so here's the story.
It looks good on the can.
Here's the story. When I was in high school, I purchased this and ate it at home. So in the 70s, this bread was available. How in the world, this must have been my calling that I found this bread and ate it in high school. At the time, I ate real butter on it. And so what it is, it's a brown bread, and you open the can and push it through. And it has water, whole wheat flour, molasses, dextrose, rye flour, whey, corn, yellow cornmeal, baking soda, buttermilk, salt, and corn oil. Who knows those words?
You can pronounce them
Good
all.
to me.
Who knows those words? Okay, so this has been around a long time. It's kind of like if you don't want to make a muffin or you don't want to cook and you don't know what they've put in all the stuff in the grocery store. So a slice is 130 calories, 0.5 milligrams of fat. Here's the only negative. It does have a little sodium, 400 milligrams of sodium. 2 grams of fiber, 3 grams of protein, 4% calcium, and 6% iron. So it gives you a little something. It does come with raisins. I usually get that one, but I just picked it up. I didn't look. It is good. I'm sorry I didn't bring you that because I want you to taste the product. It's good with peanut butter and apple butter. It's a molassesy kind of flavor. Now don't think, ooey gooey cupcake. I don't want to set you up. Sometimes, it's good with butter, or it would be good with a little cream cheese mixed with honey. So just take that and pass it along. See if you like that. I found this at Wise Groceries, and Martin sells it with the baked beans.
What's the baked beans?
And I think New England, don't they serve brown bread with baked beans?
You can have a camping trip.
Yeah. When I was making, my husband says, you gonna bring some of that home? That's good with peanut butter.
It's really good.
Oh, yeah.
Fill you up.
Not everybody likes that. Sometimes they think it's dry or.
Did you say that it qualifies for Ornish too? That was an Ornish approved.
Was it?
I think so, because you used to use it for that program.
I did?
Yeah.
That's so far back I've forgotten.
Or maybe Dawn did, but I think.
0.5
It's just like
milligrams.
applesauce cake.
Yeah,
It's good.
something different.
Tastes like cake.
There you go.
I've got
See,
it.
I'm not all bad.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, you better be nice to me. I'm making your dessert for next week. If you want chocolate in it. This, help yourself with this because I don't like to keep these at home because guess who eats these? This is for when you don't have time to make cookies, okay? And Natalie and I both adore peanut butter. We are big peanut butter lovers. And a lot of the lists on the cookies are long too. Long list on cookies. Unbleached wheat flour, sugar, I want sweet cookies, peanut butter, rolled oats, safflower oil, palm oil, defatted peanut flour, brown rice syrup, sea salt, leavening, which is baking soda, monocalcium phosphate, soy lecithin, and natural flavor. So for a list, that's not too bad. I didn't count them, but that's not too bad.
And this doesn't have any eggs in it, or do they not list it?
No,
Probably no eggs.
no eggs.
No eggs.
So if you had an egg allergy. So So 2 cookies, 130 calories, some 5 grams of fat, carbohydrate, 2 grams of protein. It's a cookie. So help yourself. Now you know you're not hungry, right? You can take some of these home with you.
Please don't do that to me.
I love peanut butter, so help yourself there. You like that? Am I off the hook for the pea milk?
Oh, you are.
Oh, good.
It just keeps getting better and better after the pea milk.
But there was kind of an order we had in mind.
The cookie should have gone with the pea milk, though. You could dip it in the,
That's right.
Yeah, would work.
maybe.
I should have had hot tea or coffee or something. Because sometimes you don't have time to make cookies, and if you don't trust, I really, really, really don't trust the grocery store bakeries, because it's like, I just don't trust any of that. Put this here in case I'm gonna keep that for later.
These are delicious.
I like these the best.
Now they come in chocolate chip. They come in like an Oreo. They come in like a chocolate mint. I haven't tried that one. The chocolate chip one's pretty good, although I think I like the peanut butter better.
Reminds me of a Girl Scout cookie, the peanut butter Girl Scout cookie.
You know what that reminds me? I'm not sure I've ever looked at the peanut butter Girl Scout cookie lists. I mean, the list of ingredients. I don't know. It's got a lot of things or a little bit. And now you've had a little bit for your tum tum. Natalie has the next lesson. I like this. I never had a helper.
This is just a packet. This cracker we were originally just gonna give it to them and let them take it home, but I thought, I kinda went through it and I picked out what I thought was important. And I just thought we could kinda go over it together, so if you had any questions you could ask, or just so you really know what you're looking at, when you're in the grocery store looking at labels. So on this first page here, you just have your basic nutrition facts. The first thing, I guess if you wanna look from top to bottom, is serving size. So it's important to notice your serving sizes, because I think a lot of people, they just skip right to the calories, and they think, oh, I'm gonna eat this, and it's gonna give me 120 calories. And then, before you know it, they've eaten 3 times what the serving size is, and then way more calories than they need. So that's something that you wanna pay attention to, calories and serving size together. Looking down, I sometimes like to look at, we're gonna skip to the bottom now, so this lighter gray area with the vitamins. It says vitamin A, vitamin C, calcium, and iron. Do you guys know the percent daily value there, what that means? So it says vitamin A, it says 4%. That means that whatever this product is, it doesn't tell us, but this product, if you eat 1 serving size, that means that will give you 4% of the vitamin A that you need in your whole day. So, I think somewhere else it says anything less than 5%. So 5% or lower, that's pretty low. So whatever this is very low in vitamin A, C, and iron. But 20% or more means that it's higher. So whatever this is, I wish it would tell us what this product is. But it's got a lot of calcium.
Cheese? No, not 12 grams of fat.
Not 250 calories.
Chunk of cheese, maybe it's just a chunk of cheese.
Yeah, it could be, because it doesn't have fiber, so I'm thinking more
And
could it.
fiber.
And it has
Well,
a
I
little
wouldn't think of the
protein.
iron in cheese. I wonder if anywhere on that it tells you. That is a good question.
That's the bonus question for quiz at the end.
That's right.
Another thing you want to look at is fat. We were talking a little bit earlier, and I was worried you guys were maybe going to ask, well, how much fat is too much fat in a product, and it actually says anything less than 20% or 20 grams is decent. So I mean, 20 grams is probably as high as you're going to want to go per serving. You know, as long as your saturated fat is relatively low, this one does have, it says 3 grams of trans fat. You guys know that those are the fats that are usually found in your processed foods, your snack foods, potato chips, things like that. Fun fact, in low amounts they are found in some dairy products and animal products naturally, but that's just a fun fact. You don't have to worry about it. The natural ones are fine. But saturated fats, you're gonna want to keep that low. Cholesterol, we don't worry too much about that, right? Because it's cholesterol from food doesn't affect your
Not as much.
blood very much. Sodium, 470 milligrams, depending on the product, I think is relatively decent. But that's something that you want to look out for. What do you think?
This is macaroni and cheese.
Oh, did you find it?
Why did you cross-check that?
I just started typing it in and it came up from this one.
How about
Look at
that?
that.
Mac and
Okay,
cheese.
So we have mac and cheese.
That makes sense.
That would explain the carbohydrates. I think if you guys can remember 2 weeks ago, Joan gave the talk about carbohydrates and all your serving sizes, and do you guys remember 15 grams of carbohydrates is roughly 1 serving? So you that's something, if you do or don't have diabetes, or if you're just trying to kind of keep track of your carbohydrates, that's a good thing to look at. So you know when you see 31 grams in one serving size, you know that you're actually getting 2 servings of carbohydrates. Okay, I think it's safe. The next page is pretty much what I said, that you want to pay attention to your serving sizes. And a good example that comes to my mind right off the bat is soup, specifically like Progressive soup. I know they were advertising for a while that, you know, eat this for your meal. It was a big weight loss thing, I think. And those are actually 2 servings per can. So I think a lot of people think, I can eat this whole can of soup and it's going to be fine, but you then double your calories, especially sodium with soup is a big thing, because some of those can have as much as 700 milligrams of sodium per serving. So if you eat the whole can, you're getting 1,400 milligrams, which
You
is a
can
lot.
tell me if you want.
What? Oh, Joan brought in this soup. It was like a little container of
With a
soup.
short list.
Yeah, she said it's got a short list, and I immediately said, well, look at the sodium. It was
I
little
missed
teeny
it.
tiny.
I
Like
missed
the
it.
size of that glucerna, even smaller, but there's a lot. Every once in a while, you know,
I still
you'll be
ate it, but-
okay, but.
I mean, frozen foods too have so much sodium, you know,
Yeah.
you look at the ingredients, you think it's great, and then look at the sodium, and it's outrageous.
Yeah.
I mean, everything in moderation. You can, if it's something that you really, really love, have it every once in a while. It's all about quality of life, right?
What would be the total, number of milligrams you're shooting for sodium for the day, like for
Sodium,
the day?
I believe is it,
Keep it in there.
Well, it'd be 5
2,500?
times this, so.
it's about
2,300.
2,300 is your,
And it's on the bottom of the label.
yeah.
We have it on that bottom of that label.
1,500 if you're in cardiac problems.
Yeah, here it says based on on your first page, based on a 2,000 calorie diet and a 2,500, it says 2,400 milligrams. I think those are a little bit different for men and women, but I think as long as you're keeping it around.
About 1,500 for her.
Okay.
And you can get that in salad at fast food joint. Sorry, I'm supposed to be quiet.
Oh, it's okay. I think I already said. I think I already said most of the things that I was wanting to talk about. Actually, a new recent thing that I saw on. Do you guys know what Kind bars are? They're a granola bar. Kind is the
Everywhere.
brand. Yeah, I love those. And I was looking in the grocery store for some that I wanted for breakfast last week, and I saw. So this one just says sugars. I can't remember if we talked about this with you guys about how, depending on what the product is, it says sugar, and you don't know which is the natural sugar. You know, if it's chocolate milk, you don't know how many grams of the total sugar is from milk sugar, lactose, or if it's added sugars. And it actually it said 5 grams of total sugar, and then under it said added sugar, 5 grams. So all of them were added sugars, but I still got them. But I just think that that's going to be a nice new thing. It's going to
Yeah, that
differentiate.
2018, that's a new food
Is it?
label regulation.
Oh, well
So
then-
you'll say added sugars versus naturally
Okay,
occurring
yeah.
sugars.
So Kind is just ahead of the game there. Next is, it talks a little bit about fiber. I just think it's a good thing to know that it says 5 grams or more per serving is considered high fiber. You know, things with less than that is still considered a good source of fiber. I did a little research and I found a list of foods that are pretty high in fiber. We have split peas, lentils, black beans, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, whole wheat pasta, oatmeal, some berries, really good sources of fiber. The rest of the packet talks a little bit about organic labeling. I'm not one to shop too much in the organic section. It doesn't mean organic food isn't good or that you shouldn't buy organic. I think it's more about the ingredients. So Organic Foods Production Act and National Organic Program ensure that organic foods purchased in the United States are produced, processed, and certified to consist. So they have standards, is basically what this is saying. You can't just slap organic on there and everything be okay.
But you certainly do pay a whole lot more for those organic foods.
Yes, they are more expensive, but the good thing is that there are ways to tell based on their claim what you're getting. So if it says 100% organic, that means that all of the ingredients are organically produced. However, if it just says made with organic ingredients, that means that only 70% of those ingredients have to be organic. So, I guess if you're really, really pushing for organic, just make sure it says 100% organic. We'll talk a little bit about chickens next. This was a little sad, because you know, I fall into that category that I see cage-free and range-free, and I think, oh, these are happy chickens. I need to buy their eggs. But really, cage-free, it just means that, well, they're not in cages, so they're able to move, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're allowed to be outside. So I know, is it Purdue? They make a commercial right now where they're talking about not giving their chickens any antibiotics, and they're giving them parsley and things like that. But they're in a barn, and their chickens are just kind of waddling around in the barn. A good documentary I watched, Food Inc., a couple years ago, and it talks a lot about that. But poor birds, their little beaks are seared off so they don't peck each other. I don't like that. Free range.
So I wonder how they eat. Don't they pick up their food with their beaks?
It's not that they're cut, the beaks are cut off, they cut the point.
Like the
Oh,
pointy part, just so they can't.
I'm sorry.
No, good point. I probably could have
Thank you.
specified that.
But still, it's pretty
Yeah, it's pretty.
gross.
So this packet, yours only says that for free range there are no specific standards. I did a little research, and it just means that there's no specific time required for them to be outside. So you think free range and you think, oh, these chickens are in the field all day, they're just roaming, they're happy. But really they could be allowed, it actually said they could be allowed outside in a gravel yard for 15 minutes a day, and it's still considered free range.
Not that I've had experience. I just thought it could be.
How do you know?
No, I just watch TV occasionally.
A lot of things nowadays say all natural on them, which isn't bad. It means that they do not contain artificial ingredients or preservatives, and they're minimally processed. But things that say all natural, they can still have antibiotics, growth hormones, and other chemicals. So the regulations are pretty lenient. The last thing here is sustainable. It's not an official label. You know, I would assume we could all gather that sustainable means with regards to the environment, but I wouldn't necessarily buy food based on that label there. But does anyone have any questions? No? All right. Thank you, That counts for her class. I'll be right back.
You did
Oh, the
fine.
box.
Sorry.
And
a good
I wasn't
idea.
trying to make fun of chickens earlier, I was
Because I read
just
it
like,
down.
really, I was freaked out, cause I was like,
No, I mean, it sounds like they cut them off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to say seared off. They could have just said clipped. I think that's a little better.
I'll tell you, we never did that to chickens on the farm.
Got pecked all the time, didn't
We're
you?
back in, we're back
I
in
remember
the
this.
Martin's. Food line, or shop and save.
I think you said Reese too, didn't you? No, but that wasn't Reese, that was
That,
Reese, yeah,
yeah.
the bread.
Well, now you gotta put up with me again. I wanna do the bad news first, cause I like to get the shock value, but I promise I have good news.
Okay.
Okay? Because we thought it would be confusing to go back and forth. It might be hard to remember what I said, what was in what category. Was that good or bad, good news or bad news? This is all lessons. Okay? Everybody ready?
We're ready.
All right. Now, this is peanut butter. Okay? And it says omega-3 on the front. Omega-3 fatty acids help improve our heart or don't hurt our heart, okay? You all heard of omega-3 fatty acids, they're the good guys. And we think, okay, and down below it says with omega-3 DHA and EPA. It's really be good, okay? Now, you wanna know what that omega-3 fatty acids is from? What did they put in there? Well, they put anchovy and sardine oil and tilapia gelatin.
As I said, it had to come from fish somewhere.
Yeah.
Had to come from,
Fish
now,
is what I thought.
what do you do? There is no picture of a fish. What do you do if you have a fish allergy?
Mm.
Wow.
What do you do? So, you can't call up all the companies, but every now and then you get all, "Rrrr." So I called the company up and I said, Michelle and Slade, I was like, "Rrrr." I called them up and said, hey, what do you do if somebody has a fish allergy? There is a fish back here. There's a little fish, little fishies. She said, well, we hope that they would look at the label. Right. It was very good, by the way. Pam and I ate it. It tastes like fish. Oh, it's gonna waste that. But it makes a good example. And it's like we have all these food allergies, we have all these problems with dyes and everything. If we started with this, we would have known there was fish in there. So that's that one. Let's see what else we want to look at. These things are just full of stuff. I can't even read everything. Energy drinks, and they're like $2 or $3. They're at a sales place because they're right there where you can grab them. And I'm tired, $2 or $3 and I won't be tired. This is natural and artificial berry flavor, potassium sorbate, and then it's got some kind of warning about as much caffeine as a cup of premium brewed coffee, which I have read a lot of these are only about the caffeine of a brewed cup of coffee, which is no big deal. But it's got excess 2,000% B6, which I think I told you about before, with a friend of mine's son had too much B6 in his brain. That'll make you fatigued. So it's like we're paying for 2,000% B6 and 8,333% B12. It's like that's what we're paying for. So not a good idea. We'll just go have a cup of coffee with cream and sugar. I picked this out of the garbage can. I can't even really tell you what's in here, except that it's tea with caffeine and a bunch of stuff that's hard to read. Monster Rehab. Monster is in rehab. And that's just marketing to think you're special. Hardly any calories, and it's got caffeine and a bunch of junk.
So it probably has artificial sugar in it,
Yeah.
and sweetener.
Brewed tea, black tea, glucose peach tea concentrate. It's got a lot of taurine, ester gum, words I don't know. B6, black tea, B12, contains coconut. So, anyway, this is Pop-Tarts. I covered up the front. Pop-Tarts, 45 ingredients, 9 dyes in here. So we're feeding our kids Pop-Tarts, 9 dyes in here. Look at all of them, 45 ingredients. You could have had 3 carbohydrates. You could have had a bowl of cereal and fruit and milk, or a piece of peanut butter toast and a glass of milk and a piece of fruit. So we wonder about our brains feeding that stuff to our kids. Heck with this part. This is the part that's scary right there.
You know, a few months back, I read an article in the New York Times, and they were talking about Pop-Tarts. They are given to the people, or that is what the people from like hurricanes and whatnot, destructive areas, the people that
Is
come
that
to,
what they give them?
they want, the people want them. Pop-Tarts, strawberry, Pop-Tarts, icing, strawberry.
With icing. Well,
That is what they want the most.
you know what, the other thing that I think about, because I think about stuff like this, is when we have collection for food drives and things like that, some of the stuff that we collect for them, it's like, I refuse to give them anything that I wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
So they get the unsalted green beans and the peanut butter and the pasta and the whole grain pasta, and because there could be somebody who wants that food and they can't get it because we're giving them this. Strawberry Pop-Tarts with icing. Now, this one, these are crackers, okay? And the list is a little bit long, and I read it and it's not horrible things, rosemary extract and quinoa flour, but I'm bringing this to highlight a point, and that is they gave a lot of marketing here to the sea salt. Sorry, camera, I'm hot. A lot of marketing to the sea salt, and not much marketing to quinoa and whole wheated millet, okay? And so I'm thinking, they're thinking, I guess that's what they're thinking, that you're thinking that sea salt is better. Now, sea salt, teaspoon for teaspoon, is less sodium, but not if you use more. Okay, so there's not like there's all these vitamins or minerals in sea salt. So 14 crackers still has 220 milligrams of sodium. I just found that really interesting, that they showed the grains and they showed the little seeds and they said they're tasty, but just the marketing I just thought was amazing.
Compare that to the sodium in those Triscuit crackers. Where are those?
The Triscuit crackers have,
Just curious.
oh, you know what? I don't know.
I think it was on one of the pieces.
Was it on one of the pieces? 170.
So it has less. I mean,
That has less. Then the cupcakes have 290. So I just think it's interesting how they try to get in our head. Let's see what else we have. I don't want to spend too much time on the bad, but I spent a lot of time looking for trouble. This was in CVS. And it was on sale for $1.99. And I buy a lot of this stuff with my own money, so I had it, put it back. Gotta have it. It's like regular $4.99. So what they've done here is they've made it really bright, and they have name recognition, Reese's and Hershey's, name recognition. Okay, so they're drawing you in with the name. Now, they've also said that with whole grain as the first ingredient. So they know you're gonna get it a little bit smarter. But when you look at it as the first ingredient, you would think it would have some fiber, and it has 1 lousy gram of fiber. Okay? So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay. So, and well, look at that, Reese's cup for the bowl. Isn't that delightful for breakfast? That would appeal to a lot of people, right? It's like, oh man, let's have Reese's cup for breakfast. So of course, when I look at the label, and there's 38 ingredients. 5 sugar in 5 forms, like cane sugar and dextrose, sugar in 5 forms, 5 dyes. So they're telling you this because it's like, so you make a good choice. It's like, well, you're pretty smart, you better buy this. But they didn't tell you 5 sugars, 5 dyes, only 1 gram of fiber. But don't worry, Mom, if you buy this for your kid because they want the box tops, don't worry, because we added some vitamins. 14 of them. Do you see what they do? $4.99 for this. And so that's how you can't tell anybody. I'm gonna pick on you. People come up to me, hey, is this good for me? I don't know what you needed. I don't
How about
know.
that strip on the front they have on, because I do look at that as a comparison.
Well, and sometimes when you're quick, 120 calories, let's see if they're telling the truth. That's true. But see, what they did is they highlighted the positive.
Right.
Okay? So a quicker thing would be to wherever I am, I just look at that first. And if it's long, I'll put it back. Even Kashi, some of their products are decent. I don't have time to read all that. Okay? So they told you the positive, low in fat, 160 milligrams of sodium. That's true. 10 sugars. Well, this is interesting. 11 other carbohydrates, 10 sugars, 1 fiber, 22 total, so hard to tell what that really means. 10% calcium and 10% D. So what they do here is they highlighted this and this because that means you made a good purchase. Whereas instead it would be you'd have just put it back if you just looked at this. Everybody get that? Now, some folks think that this is homemade cooking. But I've started to clarify. I made this, it's not from a box. Okay? Covered dishes. People at our church get really mad when people bring, because we're old-fashioned Methodist, good cooking, oh my golly. Yes, because you're starting to see covered dish churches. I mean, people bring processed stuff. Oh, that doesn't count, but they bring it. So anyway, this has 29 ingredients, and this has 17. And icing is what? Fat and sugar and a little milk, okay? So it's convenient, but that's not real. Let's see, how much longer do we have? Oh, I'm not going to go over all these. This was from one of my pastors that he brought it up here. This is only, it'll be 4 years old in November. Because they saw the other one, so they brought me this. But you can feel, I mean, it's hard.
There was a stick of margarine that somehow ended up in my garage. And it was years later, and it was still a stick of margarine.
Oh, I'd love to have had it.
It didn't do anything.
Did you throw it out?
Well, I left it in there to see how long it would last.
Is it still there?
Probably. I moved it since.
I'll buy it from you.
I'll just take one and stick it in the room.
Oh, I
and
know,
just
but it's
roll it
already been
away.
done.
I thought margarine got soft though.
I waited a long time for
Because
these
it's
It was a
Margarine.
little soft, but it still didn't
cupcakes.
lose its shape.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably squeeze it, but I mean, it just was still.
Wow.
Well, there's some, is it butter or margarine that they didn't used to refrigerate it?
Butter.
Butter.
I leave my butter out.
Seems to leave it out.
So,
Easier to
let's
spread.
see. What other little tricks do I have? Well, Weight Watchers will portion everything for you, okay? But they're gonna they're gonna give you a lot of stuff, okay? You can have Breyer's Original Vanilla Ice Cream for 4 ingredients. So, I've eaten some of these, but since I've been doing these classes, I thought, well, I need a little treat, and I went and I put it back. I thought, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm not doing it. But I have to find something, okay? Is that not a big difference in ingredients? This one just is amazing. So this was to be fruit, okay? Now an apple was 1 ingredient. These babies are 23. 3 dyes. It contains carrageenan. That's a little controversial now. It's still in some products. A little controversial, does it cause cancer in mice and whatever. But the other thing I'd like to highlight is they put these box tops in there, that's got that, and what do they highlight? The low calories, the no fat, the low sodium, and the low sugars. But they put this box tops, they're connecting it to poor quality food. The box top should be on the broccoli, right? And then the kids get the computers, but they're so sleepy and so fatigued and not very smart because their brain cells aren't working. The whole system's not working right? Okay, well I think we need some positive news, so I'm gonna go get it. Hold on, we're gonna make a switch, and Natalie's gonna help. We'll be right back. Take a rest.
I don't know if she's gonna tell you, but the one thing too is, the grams of sugar, 4 grams of sugar on the label are equal to a teaspoon of sugar. So when you're looking at a label, that's how you can determine, if you can visualize how much sugar is in something. So 4 grams is equal to a teaspoon.
Since my in-laws moved here, my mother-in-law is allergic to corn.
It's pretty neat, isn't it?
And anything with potatoes in it, so I have to read labels on everything if I'm gonna cook dinner for her to eat. So now I feel like her, it's got a lot of, you know, so I'm cooking way more natural foods now.
Yeah. At
Which
least,
is good.
at least corn and potato probably say corn or potato, but like sugar has like 40 different names and you
Yeah.
don't know what it is.
I brought more positive than negative. Let's see what we want to show you. Let's see. Let's talk about Burkholder's, the bakery in Sharpsburg. Oh, now there's a donut. It's a bakery in Sharpsburg, Maryland, and you know, okay, the Mennonite.
Is it the one close to Nutters?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay,
All right.
I didn't know.
So this is Burkholder's Bakery. Now it's a couple years old. Here's what's in their bread: water, whole wheat flour, oil, honey, yeast, salt, gluten. And you look at the bread in the grocery store. This is fresh. It goes out every day. The best in the grocery store you're going to find that's closest to this is in the freezer section because it will go bad. So they have to freeze it. Okay, that is bread. You can find a short list on things like popcorn, corn chips. This is a lot of popcorns with a short list. Popcorn, canola oil, sea salt. Do we know those words? Potato chips. Not that I'm telling you should eat potato chips. But as opposed to the Doritos, I just want to show people how to make a better choice to put words in there that in their nose. Okay, you still need to eat that plate of food first. Winter time, a little tricky. Can't get our fresh food. This is just strawberry, pineapple, mango, red papaya, kiwi, no added sugar, 1 1/4 cups for 70 calories, 3 grams of fiber, 13 grams of sugars because it's all natural sugar, 10% vitamin A, 130% of vitamin C for 70 calories, 2% calcium, 4% iron. And so I get a lot of times the frozen fruit in the wintertime because it's not my season. I'm a summer girl. But sometimes this food is pretty tasty. You can put it in a cup and just let it unthaw. Let's see. Let's see if we have time for that. You never know where you're going to find healthy food. This is cereal that I found at Gabriel Brothers for $1.49. So I'm looking around and I thought, doing my thing. Whoa! What is that? Oat bran, whole oat flour, whole wheat flour, molasses, corn flour, salt, natural flavor, sodium bicarbonate, and vitamin E. Oh my gosh! I'll have to get it. 3/4 cup for 120 calories, 1.5 grams of fat, 210 milligrams of sodium, 3 grams of fiber, 6% iron, 6% vitamin E, 10% thiamine, 10% phosphorus, 10% magnesium. The E was added, the rest were not. 4 grams of protein. And you think, well, it wasn't any good. It was delicious. It kind of reminded me of Life cereal a little bit. It was that.
Who makes it?
Mothers, someone to trust since 1895.
Not before that, though.
You never know. I mean, that's why you have to try and see. You know what, since we're on a cereal kick, let me just give you the cereals. So, I was doing one of these classes, and I was gonna take a shortcut to show I was real. And I was having like a corn, or like a chicken nugget kind of thing. It had cornflake crumbs on it, and I thought, I'm gonna buy the cornflake crumbs because I was being lazy and I wanted to show how to cheat. And I went to the cornflake crumbs, I had like 18 ingredients. I can't do that. So I went over to the regular cornflakes, and it had 18 or 19 ingredients. I thought, can't do that. So I go over to the organic aisle, which doesn't mean it's healthier, it just means it's less pesticides. And I found this cornflakes that had 3 things: cornmeal, grape or pear juice, and sea salt. And they were yummy. They were really crunchy. So again, it starts with the short list. And, oh, you know what? Here's another cereal. Oh, full of cereal. This oatmeal, 1 ingredient. Now the easier they make it for you, the instant and the flavoring, just look how the list expands. Okay, 1 thing, oats. And I think this is still available. I had a hard time with the fiber ones, and have you looked at fiber one in a while? It used to have, I think it had aspartame in it, or it had some artificial sweeteners in it or something, and it was high in fiber, but it had some artificial sweeteners in it. I thought, well, that doesn't seem right. So I found this over in the organic aisle: wheat bran, oat fiber, cane juice, that's sugar, psyllium seed husk, barley malt extract, oat bran, whole oat flour, and sea salt. 13 grams of fiber, 3 grams of protein, 10% iron, 90 calories for 2/3 of a cup. That's pretty good for cereal. Let's see what else we have. You know what? Let me talk a minute about quinoa. Quinoa, Natalie served to you. As opposed to maybe rice or noodles, let me share with you the nutritional value of quinoa. It's a little pricey, but God, you're worth it. And this is the brand that I have found with the most nutrients in it, the Eden brand. And 1/4 of a cup uncooked has this. I'm not saying the calories are all that. 4 grams of fiber, 5 grams of protein. Well, listen to what it has in it that was not added. It is only 1 ingredient in here. 10% iron, 10% thiamine, 2% niacin, 15% folate, 20% magnesium, 4% E, 8% B2, 10% B6, 10% phosphorus, 8% zinc in a grain. Okay? So when you look at it and it appears expensive, and it will, you have to see how many servings you get out of it, and you have to see, you can go to Elbow Macaroni, that's a processed wheat. They strip everything off, and then they put other things back, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. But this is going to do more for your insides. We have to think of it as our medicine, and we're worth the cost. Okay? We can't buy everything else and then say there's no money left. Oh.
So that is like $14, $15 at Martin's that size, which is crazy. It went from like $5 to $15 recently, like in the last year or so. But Aldi's, now you can't get that brand, so it may not be as high in the nutrients, but it's still high in fiber and protein. Aldi's has it just for like a couple dollars.
It's like 4. We were just there.
Yeah.
And look at what you get. Now, there is a difference in how they process. So sometimes the processing takes the nutrients out. So you don't know if you buy another brand and you don't see the nutrients, were they washed away or did they not pay to have it analyzed? It's hard to say. It's hard to say. So we need to do better in this because
But that's just crazy, that brand is like $15
Yeah.
for that package, and
So-
it's like,
The brand that I used for the quinoa salad, I got it at Martin's in the organic section, and it was, the bag is barely smaller than that, and it might be 6.
so
There
see
are
what
different
you
ones
get
that
for
are
your
less
money, but
expensive.
it goes back
It
to what
goes-
you can afford with your budget. Now this was, oh, this is Eden Organic also. This wasn't as expensive, but it was wheat and quinoa, 70% wheat, so this was wheat and quinoa. And so it was like a twist, so like if you wanna make a macaroni salad or something, it's, okay, so they didn't process everything and strip it out and then put it back in. So a half a cup of this is some potassium in it, 5 grams of fiber, 8 grams of protein, 2% calcium, 15% thiamine, 15% niacin, 20% magnesium, 15% iron, 8% riboflavin, 6% folate, 20% phosphorus, and 10% zinc. So that captured some of that. It's all about what they're going to give you for the money. Okay? Let's see what else we have here. Anybody had hemp hearts? Made them? That's funny. Let's see. Sprinkle of salad, syrup, and yogurt. Now these have some calorie to them. I'll just read you the testimonial here. I work with a senior citizen. I try to fatten up with good nutrition and whatever, and so I take her these hemp hearts. In 1995, I was unhealthy and unhappy at over 300 pounds. I was unable to live the active outdoor lifestyle I desperately wanted. Then a friend introduced me to hemp foods, packed with nutrition. These versatile hemp foods provide the nutrients my body was craving. Before long, I had enough natural energy to climb a mountain, and a message is spread once I got there. Honestly, these nutty little nutrient-packed seeds changed my life. Because hemp foods did wonders for me, I want to share them with the world. So in 1998, I, with my friends Martin and Alex, started Manitoba Harvest. It's delicious, sustainable, packed with goodness. And now, there is no miracle food, but I think this guy got on the health, and my guess is he ate more than hemp seeds. But 3 tablespoons have 13 grams of fat, most of it polyunsaturated and monounsaturated. 3 grams of fiber, 10 grams of protein. That's like a little over an ounce and a third of meat, equivalent to protein. So in these little seeds, 2% calcium, 25% thiamine, 8% B6, 45% phosphorus, 20% zinc, 20% iron, 6% riboflavin, 8% folate, 45% magnesium, 110% manganese. So you can get these here and there. I don't know if all
What do
these
they
have.
taste like? Are they strong?
No, they're kind of like a nutty kind of.
So if you mix that with your quinoa, it
Right,
would be like
right.
a power.
Yeah, or with your
food.
cereal. Mm-hmm.
salad, is it sweet or is it, you put on
It's
salad?
kind of nutty, crunchy.
Put on a salad?
Mm-hmm. Salad, yogurt. Mm-hmm.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
It's hard to taste test all these things
You
for
gotta
you.
separate these two.
That's what we're counting on you
Do
for.
they keep wanting burgers? Is that what they're
They-
saying?
they
No,
put
say
it
put that on ice cream.
Ice cream.
On Breyer's all natural vanilla. How's that?
Portion control.
A man has learned his lesson.